Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Sorry if my voice sounds a little off. I am struggling because I'm losing my voice a little bit, so we're going to kind of go a little bit more ASMR for today. If I have to clear my throat, and I do apologize. But for today, we're going to be checking out Ranked and Spectating. Now, we're going to be playing it out, and we're going to be very paying attention to how the lobby is playing and flow, because it's the last 19 days before the new season, and it's very important to kind of see how the flow is going. I think a lot of people are being a lot more aggro. Pushing, you'll find that if you just go to zone, that even if you go to zone, you might find that you're going to get pushed quite a lot. And you're probably questioning what you need to do and how you need to do it. I'm going to pass it to these guys. They seem to be talking quite a bit on the mic, but you know, that's kind of what we do for the spectating series. Let's take a big pay attention around what people are doing. Don't see anybody landing super hot at the moment. We do have a team possibly contesting us. Now, the reason I picked Conduit is that one thing you're going to notice a lot of is tons and tons of Conduit. Conduit has definitely been very meta the higher you go up and the higher her pick rate has been because of that fast reset, and it definitely falls in line with teams that are trying to be aggro. If you fall off drop, it looks like we're contesting really hard. I wonder if these guys are going to pull off. I've been seeing this a lot. Teams are contesting really early on, and your chances of success to get out of this, we'll see how that lobby flows, but I am confident that, let's see where they're landing. Okay, they landed pretty close, unfortunately, so we're going to land on these bends. This is going to not probably go over too well, but we're going to do the best we can. Gonna heal him. Fortunately, we whiffed quite a bit there. It's not looking too good for us right now. Yeah, the heal definitely provided a reset there, unfortunately. Even then, we didn't get the ideal gun, but that's okay. And this is an example of what you need to do, definitely to play safer rather than dropping hot. We're gonna see. I've seen this many times in ranked, and I'm glad this is happening, because you're going to see how fast the lobby dies out and how aggro people are. Now, I think it's very important to run a Conduit if you're going to drop hot because of that reset. Even the little damage that I did was pretty much removed and changed because of this. Now, what they could do is come back in. Now, they probably are going to opt just to run away and reposition, which is a lot of things that people do as well, especially early on. We do have a Conduit, so one thing that's really big, especially when it comes to the support class, is because if you hot drop, there is that added benefit of what you can do is just reset, essentially. Now, most people get really upset whenever their teammate runs away or anything, but you have to kind of cut your losses and understand that you're not going to win every single encounter, right? So we got a hot drop there. Now we only have 18 teams remaining, and I guarantee the two that we're fighting were the teams that we pretty much were. We did see some teams that are kind of spread out, but that gives you time to go into zone. If you actually are a team that goes into zone, one of my biggest tips that I would provide to you is the danger of having a team disrespect you if you don't have your armors leveled up. It's very important to craft up your armors. I think it's actually going to craft us to get us back in the game. We'll see how lucky we are. But crafting up your armors is probably one of the most important things if you're going to go to end zone, because if you have a team that has purples and you still have whites or blues, you're going to get pushed and you're going to lose. You might be asking yourself the question, two questions here. One, how can I stop a team from pushing? Well, the biggest advice is you have to do damage. Well, how do I do that without sacrificing my team? You need to position well. And if the position doesn't work, you need to back up and reposition again and bait them out. Baiting is probably one of the biggest things that you need to do. We're probably going to get pushed here. I'm going to have to run to my teammates for crafting. See how they're crafting and how important it is. Very, very important. So shout out to my teammate here for rezzing us. Let's take a look around. We didn't get a whole lot off drop. We do have some pretty good armors, meaning that if we get loot that we can probably go back in. I do need to be careful because they know they heard the res here. Zone is a little further out, unfortunately. I'm going to have to just take this charge rifle. It's better than RE45 for distance. I need to pay attention to my teammates. Even though I'm not on comms, it's very important to pay attention to your teammates. Notice how earlier, I still gave them a heal. I did see one of them leave. I tried to stay and do the best I could for them. There's no reason to ever get upset. That's another thing. Don't really get mad at your teammates. They're trying the best they can. This individual did the best he could to res us, which is really, really nice of them. Playing for the squad, playing for best you can. And yeah, this series, we do a lot of talking, which is why I said I'm kind of doing ASMR voice, because I kind of feel the tingly sensation in the back of my throat, and I'm trying not to cough in the mic, because I'm kind of losing my voice a little bit. So I do apologize if my voice or my timbre is a little bit different than it normally is. But nonetheless, you're getting, see, so 17 teams, zone 1 is closing. There's two different ways you can play. You can definitely play edge, and you can go to zone in the center and find out where it's going to pull. Like when you start looking in the map and you ask, okay, where can we go play that's going to be ideal for our team, right? Well, when we look, we could play over by this height here. We can play over by this height here. We can hunker down a building and kind of hold here. It's always trying to think of where to hold. I'm really surprised we're not being pushed, to be honest. Is sights in the crafter? No. So I'm just going to craft some batteries. And it's also not a bad thing, guys, if your team takes it slow. You'd be surprised how much you can still net out when your team takes it slow. There they are. Okay, this is going to happen. 5, cracked, flush. There we go, a lot of damage. This is a good fight if our entry wants to push in. And this could be the hard part, because sometimes your entry won't move on significant damage. And it looks like this team is backing up. That was a lot of damage. You see, that's a really good example of baiting a team out to run out in the open towards you, but also how damage scares them and makes them run away. I mean, if you're doing damage, they're going to stop pushing. It's as simple as that. They'll stop pushing altogether and they'll back up and reposition. They didn't do any damage to us, and I mean, 255 damage off a team is really, really solid. Also, I have water next to me, so I might take a break and drink some water. This is going to be a longer video, so I'm hoping my voice can hold out just for today before I need to record tomorrow or anything. Hoping after a nice night resting that it bounces back. Don't worry, I'm okay. Everything's all good. But do you see how that team deterred and backed out? Now, there is a concern. Just because they backed out doesn't mean we're not going to have to deal with them later. So over there, too. So if we push this team in here, then we're going to get thirded and shot in the back over here. So I got to put pressure on both teams, essentially. So then we can either work our way in. I might have to pop a battery. But there is a team over there, and they smoked, and so I put pressure, and there's a reason I did that. Because I want them to know that we're still looking at them, and that this fight we're not truly engaged in. They will, over time, realize that we are engaged, and that's when they're going to start pushing back. And that's when we need to be careful. So I'm watching our backs for now. It's important that most people are watching different angles, that you're not all peeking the same spot. Right now I'm relying on them to do a little bit of damage. The other team looks like they're rotated, which is exactly what we wanted. I have way too much sniper ammo, but I don't have enough heals anyways. Trying to take a look. I'm using the angle here to keep my hitbox as small as possible. I'm watching our backs again, just in case we get run up on. And even then, I know, like, again, you're not on a mic, but I'm paying very close attention to how my teammate's going to heal him. I'm going to look up top to see if we can do some damage. Unfortunately, I'm not doing any damage. I'm going to reposition. I don't see them going up top. I might pop my ult from behind me just to buy some time. If they rotate, we'll see what they're doing. They're not pushing. They're holding. I need to reposition. They're up top on the roof. Ooh, that's not good. I need to bat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ult out right here just for the meantime to buy yourself some time if they decide to push down. And there it is. I can hide behind this for cover, right? I do have my heal in 6 seconds. One of them did bait out, which is exactly what we needed. He's going up, so I need to go up with him potentially. I'm going to hold, wait for the heal. They're healing right now. We're resetting. This fight's taking a really long time, meaning we should back out. Now, if we do decide to stay, I mean, that's great, but it's not a fight that's working out right now, so it's better to rotate. Now, we're going to take the lead of our teammates and spectate and really see what they're doing. Remember, after we die, we're going to watch the rest of the lobby and see how it plays out. It's possible they decided to leave, or they're just hunkering down. There we go. We're going to pop a heal over to him. I'm going to take the zip. I'm going to follow the Mad Maggie back and try to do as much damage as I can. Oh my gosh, she's so low. There's one. I'm going to reload, and I'm going to push because I'm going to be with the Pathfinder right here. I'm going to follow him right in. Now, the conduit ult is there, but we do have an opportunity to still push here. There we go. Now, we have our heals in a few seconds. Now, we're going to go back up the Mad Maggie best we can. I have 3 heal and 3 with them. And I can top him off, and then we pretty much won this fight. There you go. So now you see the power of Conduit. Now we just reset, we pay attention, we look to see where the opponent is. He's all over there. He's out, no reason to push. Now we grab our resources and reset. Very good fight. Not bad, pretty solid. See how, I mean, we're buying time, we're buying positioning, you know, it's all about patience. At the end of the day, the resources are pretty low, which is why they weren't instigating. Sometimes all you're waiting for is a mistake when you're trying to push. A mistake could mean somebody overextended. A mistake could mean that somebody didn't push together. A mistake could mean somebody's not positioning well, gets caught out on a bad cross. Maybe they reloaded incorrectly. Whatever it is, you're just looking for a mistake. And the mistake is really everything to pretty much down to a win. That was really solid. I hope there was a little bit to learn there, even in that fight. Just kind of spectating. See how the lobby only has 13 squads remaining now? This is actually pretty solid. We do need to craft more batteries. The zone is closing in on us. Our healing situation doesn't look fantastic. Let's see if they had any heals. I'm just probably going to have to forego my heals. which is going to be kind of unfortunate. But yeah, I don't think I have a choice. We have 3 cells. We do have a conduit heal. All right, let's follow the Mad Maggie. You're probably going to go up top here. Ideally, like I said, holding up top would be really great, but I guarantee a team is already there. You can already see how you saw shots. You saw the shots over there? If you didn't, you can pause and see. So that means that a team is probably already fighting over here. We could third party. That is a possibility, but it doesn't mean it's going to be perfect or ideal. Ideally, we need to be up top, but oh, there you go. Hold on. We just need to rotate and go in. We need to rotate and go in. Oh, shoot, our Pathfinder went the other way. That's not good. We're separate. We got cut out. We got cut out. We got cut out. We got cut out. We are screwed. Yeah, we lost. That's unfortunate. All I have to do is reposition at this point. The Pathfinder left. If we move forward together, it might have been ideal, but our Pathfinder did leave, and that's kind of unfortunate. I was hoping, based on his positioning, we can reconvene with him, but the Mad Maggie held, and the Mad Maggie held, then of course she's going to get shoved, and that's pretty much it. Not much we can do there. A little rough. I'm going to have to follow the Pathfinder. Maybe we take Gravity Cannon. It's a really high risk, but I don't know if we have the heals to survive this, per se. Try. We need to fly in somewhere, but the likelihood of us surviving is really, really low, unfortunately. Even when we do go in. I'll probably gonna try to give him a heal. Maybe we can get past this. If we can try to get past all the chaos and fly further, which would be really positive, because all we need is top 10 to break even right now. I only have 3 heals. There's some flush heals right there. Let's grab what we can. Don't be too greedy. Just look for what we need, and we're rotating. Ooh, screwed up there. We needed to rotate already. This sucks, and I think this is where we get eliminated, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's unfortunate. Our teammate's kind of, I guess, hiding. I don't know. It was a good idea, I guess, maybe to catch him out. We knew we were going to get caught there. I probably should have left the Pathfinder. Maybe he would have left, but us holding there wasn't a good idea. We needed to cut right. I saw the Pathfinder go inside, and there's not much we can do from there. But GG is not bad. Let's watch how the rest of it goes out. It was 11th place. We did get some kills. Now, you'll notice, see how I mentioned Conduit's really, really popular for the resets and everything? Unfortunately, there wasn't really a whole lot bad that we did. It was just our teammates decided to kind of split. And when you're put in that situation, you kind of have to choose between mommy and daddy. And then figure it out later in therapy, as I kind of joke around. If I went with the Pathfinder, then, you know, the Mad Maggie's, or sorry, the Mad Maggie, right? Yeah, is by herself. I tried to stay with the Mad Maggie, hoping we stay together. But even then, I would have ended up getting eliminated with her because all 3 of them had height and they would have blasted us for free. This is a mistake a lot of individual players make, is that you have to move together and you can't just stay stationary in a spot. Most people think you can just, you know, heal your way out of a situation and be like, okay, I'm just going to win and that's it. And unfortunately, that just never really nets out a positive outcome. If your teammates get mad at you or rage at you, that's not your fault. There are some circumstances when you're playing ranked. It comes down to positioning. Right? At the end of the day, we needed to stick together and play together. And even if we calm and yell about it, somebody always makes some mistakes and kind of veers off. And like I said, that's all the team is looking for. Somebody to make a mistake and get isolated. We played well earlier together, and that was because I was backing one of them up at each time. But we ran into a scenario where even I was trying to push forward and extend, but they just wouldn't move. And that kind of costed us around. Even at the start, that technically is what happened early on when we think about the drop right at the beginning. The Pathfinder was separate from where the Mad Maggie was, and I had to choose again between mommy and daddy. So what do you do in those scenarios? Don't stress. I mean, you should choose one and then pray for the best outcome. And then sometimes when you have people that you play with, I mean, the same thing can happen. This team is playing it patient. They're top 6. Remember, I mean, you don't need a placement matters more than eliminations, essentially. Now, most of the teams are on the left side of the map, but I'm surprised that nobody's contesting him here. I think they're underneath. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move away from the computer real quick. I'm going to clear my throat. You're going to hear it in the background, so I do apologize. Don't forget to drink water, ladies and gentlemen, especially when you're talking a lot, when you're playing ranked, even if just staying hydrated is really important. It helps keep your mind clear. It helps whenever you're trying to make comms. There's a lot of positives to drinking a lot of water, especially when you're gaming. So real quick, I'm going to move away from the mic. We see a team crossing out. And even me just took a sip of water. Okay. So this team does have a pretty powerful advantage right now. They have rampart walls. They can't hold here. This is looking pretty positive. Those teams are going to rotate out in front of them. You notice that Bangalore is also very popular because of smokes and rotation and covering. So you can pretty much cross out where you need to cross out in terms of positioning. Now, I do think that this zone is actually going to pull not on Lightning Rod itself, but it's going to pull slightly forward. But if everyone's in front of them, they do have a high probability of success here. Now, a team could evac around, that is a possibility, but it's at this point in the zone closure, 3 to 4 does a whole lot of damage. So we could be looking at the winning team right now. Now, I see what the Rampart's going for, trying to get an off angle. But realistically, you can only stay there for 2 seconds before somebody starts to blast you. They're just having a little bit of fun. Notice how I mentioned how just going to zone and playing zone, how nobody's really playing it at all. Imagine you were here just to begin with chilling. I mean, you would just pretty much have it for free. A lot of teams do play very aggro. That is very normal, and you do see a lot of conduits that instigate those pushes. I guess technically we were the team that also played aggro as well, because we were pushing on what we quote-unquote wanted positioning-wise. It's just whenever you get caught in zone. So let's flip this. Let's flip the script a minute. What do you do when you're trying to push through and you have a team gating you? Well, that's when you're trying to look for the team that you're trying to gate and look for a mistake. Right? Because right now they're looking for the mistake. The mistake could be somebody who's overextended. Okay, one of them is overextended right now. That means they're isolated. So if they crack them, that might be a possibility. But of course, they're also waiting for the last team as well. If they can figure out where the last team is, that's also going to be a benefit. Now, it looks like that person's getting blasted. We have a team above, and it looks like we have a team down below as well. Now, their goal is just to wait for them to fight. They wait for them to fight, that's GG's. Right now, this makes it hard for... You notice how also they're kind of spread out. Being spread out is not a bad thing. There's a good thing and a bad thing about spreading out. You cover more area and space, but also can catch you out of positioning if you're overextended, right? So this is going to come down to zone closure. Let's take a look at this. When playing end zones, you're just waiting for the mistake. Sometimes you don't always want to rotate early into zone because all you're going to do is just get peppered. Now, another thing is whenever you get a nice crack and do a lot of damage, don't get too horny. You know, that's the only explanation I can give. Is don't get too excited because, you know, you could get that knock and everything, but what about the other team that's trying to push or trying to find positioning, right? Play it patient, especially when it comes to end zones. End zone starts to feel a little bit more like ALGS at the higher level. Even the lower levels, people have a lot of respect. There might be a lot of teams that left alive. It's not a matter of just trying to clutch it out mechanically, and you kind of can, or, you know, you don't want to lose your positioning and your angle, right? Which is kind of what's happening here. A lot of damage right here. There's a good knock. Now would be the moment to overextend and push, but notice how there's the mistake. They're getting blasted in the back because now they're not securing that. If they just stayed on that roof and held it, this is what I'm talking about, the overextending a mistake. There it is. I mean, you got a little too excited. Yeah, you got a knock, but at what cost, right? Now the team you're fighting is going to reset. Now you're down and separate from your teammate. Things aren't looking too good. And all it is that mistake of overextending, but not... Pushing is not a bad thing. Holding is not a bad thing, but you got to do it together. It's probably one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give. If you don't do it together, then you're pretty much throwing. Now, there is some counters here with Rampart, which is a positive, even though she has that door there. She can blast it open for free and have the Rampart wall. And now they're waiting for a mistake again. So we'll see who makes the first mistake. They backed up and they have their positioning here, which is pretty solid. And this is where defensive legends really come in clutch, and even why Conduit's ultimate does extremely well in these scenarios. Patience, patience. All this team has to do is wait. If they can wait for the other two teams to really get into it and check the kill feed, there's the knocks. They just come in, and now they got to secure it. And this is where Rampart's positive because she can create positioning out of nothing, which is really, really solid. Now they do have some angles. And if you're a player who struggles with positioning and having the right cover, Rampart's fantastic. It's like playing Fortnite, essentially, and she has been a bit buffed and adjusted. People sleep on her, which is why you see her more in ranked. Defensive legends are really strong, and they're great counters to teams that want to play extremely aggressive. Now, remember the mistake. All they're waiting for is somebody to cross out and make a mistake. This team is playing very patient, waiting for that. The one on the left is making a mistake potentially. Oh, there they go. Then one of them also is really close right here. Unfortunate. Pretty close though. I mean, they are a duo, so there's not much they can do. But they almost caught one of them out on the rotation and the cross. So that was really nice. Not bad. Now, again, if they played together, they kind of push forward on the team. Let's imagine they push forward on the team and clean them up where they are at right now. Then they can turn and burn on the other team that have to leave height, and they can use the rampart walls, right? Nothing wrong with playing aggressive. Nothing wrong with playing defensive. Both of them have their strengths and their circumstances. But again, the biggest thing I'm going to teach today is you got to do it together. You have to do it together. You don't do it together, then you're going to lose. And that's the unfortunate part. So let's go again. Let's take a look. If somebody takes conduit, then we'll probably play advantage for the next one. How many points do we go down? Not too many points. Not too bad. Clear my throat here for a second. I like doing this in real time so you can see the realness of ranked. And hopefully this is going to give you a lot of tips and confidence to play where just because you're playing slow doesn't mean you're playing bad. And just because you're playing aggressive doesn't mean you're playing dumb. If you're playing aggressive, you need to fight for positioning that makes sense. Don't give up height and just start pushing stuff because it doesn't make sense because you're just pushing because you for the sake of pushing, right? I guess I'll just be the conduit for this one. Same thing when you're playing defensive. There becomes a point where you're playing so defensive that you start to lose out in positioning because of the ring. You're losing opportunities later, so don't wait too long. But sometimes by being patient, opportunities do present themselves. And by playing aggressive, opportunities do present themselves as well. Now remember what we saw, a lot of teams got eliminated pretty early on, and even the teams that we saw weren't even the teams that were fighting out later. And sometimes just moving in and not getting into the scuffle, but avoiding the scuffle, then gating it. So gating essentially means going a little bit further and then waiting for them for that zone to pressure them, or the positioning that you have because you're holding a choke spot. Let's go to pass it to them and see where they're gonna go. All right, let's take a look. You gotta remember to keep spectating. I appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the spectating series. So we're going hot. We got one team, two teams there, one team there, one team there. We might have one team contesting us, probably not. One team over here, looking at what's going on. You can always feel when things go south, and there's no reason to ever get upset about it. Ranked is all about time. You will have those good, better rounds, and you will have rounds that maybe won't be as ideal, and those are okay. You just have to do the best you can with what you got. And sometimes your teammates are going to be better, and sometimes they're not going to be better. Right now, this is a very defensive comp. Our really big aggro player is our Fuse. And, I mean, Newcastle can really kind of wall forward and create an opportunity. Oh, okay, let's take a look. Wow, we've skipped out the purple there. I guess I'll hold on to it. I mean, honestly, it's better if Conduit gives up her armor. So I'm going to drop it in front of the Fuse since he is most likely going to be our entry. Look outside the doors, make sure there's nobody there. Yeah, we're good. I have way too much sniper. I would prefer to run a shotgun at this point, just to balance it out. Okay, let's drop it for this guy. See if he grabs it.
1 minute and the ring's spitting distance, folks.
I think he's AFK. That's not good. Grab that. Okay, well, Newcastle, you can take it too. It doesn't matter. Works for me. All right, now we just got to essentially rotate and get out of here and reposition. Eva 8, Sentinel with a 6x, not bad. It can do some range, can do some close range balancing. Now that's another tip when it comes to balancing your loadout. If you're running just 2 R99s and close range weapons, you're not going to be doing too hot. If you're going to run 2 long range weapons, you're not going to be able to do enough damage when somebody moves up on you close range. This team is a little passive, which is okay. We should probably leave on that's outside of command, so I'm going to ping that. Get out that way. The reason why we don't want to go this way is most likely going to be a team. If we go this way, we can at least cross out in the open, and then by the time we do that, zone will pull. I get the feeling this is going to pull probably south. I could be wrong. Could pull north side, but I'm guessing more on the south side. They seem to be not moving. Not really sure what they're doing. We'll try to gauge here. Maybe he crashed out. Maybe I'm just running into an unfortunate circumstance here. He hasn't moved since he got there, which means that we're going to be just moving slow. I mean, again, oh, there he goes. Okay, that's good. Looks like we're going to go up, so let's go up instead. I'm down to do that.
Wonder what the play was.
Now, I did ping to go to zone, but it looks like we're going to play edge. Playing edge is not a bad thing either, because we kind of lost our opportunity. Oh, shoot. How am I getting hit? All right, we just got to watch these zips.
Christmas came early.
Thought they were up there for a second, I'm gonna be honest. Notice how the kill feed as well. Look how many teams are alive just by us playing patient. Pretty crazy. A lot of teams fight really early on. I don't think this team's gonna push up. I really thought at first they were shooting from up above. I don't see them. We watch our backs for 2 seconds, then we're gonna run up on watch. Imagine this person or team ran up while our Fusey was AFK. That would have been a nightmare, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Then we 100% would have been screwed. Okay, I'm moving. I've looked long enough. Need a little bit more shotgun. This person is really taking their sweet time. We're getting really lucky in terms of not getting caught out of position. Now, if I leave and that fuse gets shot in the back, I'm gonna cry. But you know, worse stuff has happened. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna close the door just so I'm aware.
Level 2. Reckon I can make use of that.
The reason I want to know is if the door does open, at least I know they're there, and I can catch up pretty quick as Conduit with my passive, which is also the benefit of Conduit. She really keeps teams together, which is why she's run so much. She incentivizes people to push back in. She encourages players to play together. This is really strange behavior. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what to think about that. At this point, I'm gonna take the armor. I dropped the armor in front of him before, but they didn't take it. So this is some strange stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie. I have seen some stuff, but this fuse is definitely making it hard for us.
We have a busted.
Enemy gun there.
Wow, I suck.
Taking shots here.
Shocking us.
Well, that's 100% on me. I completely whiffed on the EVA 8. We'll just keep watching. I'm gonna chalk that up that it's 2 in the morning when I'm recording this, and I'm gonna let you guys laugh at me. I'm gonna let you guys comment down below and laugh at me. That was embarrassing. Oh my gosh. Oh well.
Let's go this
We get to continue watching. Did he finish a down target? Is that what happened? It's fine. All right, let's keep watching. I'm truly embarrassed, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Missed the heal. There was a lot I could have done better there. Whiffed. Could be tired. Could be because maybe my throat has to be with actually me getting sick. But don't worry. By the next upload and Saturday stream, we should be fine. Now let's look how many teams. So we got eliminated at 12th place. So we're almost top 10. This team looks like they have been running around. I don't think that this team was unbeatable. You know, let's take a look at. No, I mean, this team was... I mean, they've won a fight and they beat us. But I don't think the team was unbeatable. Nobody's unbeatable, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone's beatable. Everyone has their up games and has their down games. It's just kind of the reality of it. And what we're watching here is just the reality of me making a mistake. I'm not going to cut it out. I'm going to wear mistakes with quote-unquote pride, and it is what it is. And that's the approach that you guys should all take. It's okay. It's not a bad thing when you guys make mistakes. This is really strange. Oh, they're rezzing. Okay, I was going to say, like, are they just going to spam heal inside of zone? And I get they're just waiting for the teammate. Now, they have great points, by the way, which means all they got to do is just rotate. They play the safe, they play it patient. Things are going to look pretty solid for them. Because by the time they get in, they're probably going to be top 9 by that point. But I don't know how many heals they have. Just know, by the time you reach zone 3, it's kind of impossible to play. It just doesn't really work in your favor anymore. They do have a ways to go, so if we look at the map where we want to play, down beast, mill on top of the buildings, even right here for the choke. No, not right here because it's open. Anywhere here, probably not. God spot rock. The problem is you're going to have to deal with mill. Here's 2 open. Down here, you're going to be on the low ground. Over here, you're going to get peppered and get sandwiched. You could just hold here and kind of rat it, but it's not ideal. So essentially, you would play it boom, 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 one of those. But even then, it is on the low ground, so you want to play this late. So if you're going to edge, you could essentially play the edge of it and work your way in. Just know that you have some struggles as you work your way in. Let's see what they decide to do. Let's see what they decide to do and how it works out. You know, it's interesting. Sometimes you just whiff, and sometimes, you know, I mean, that EVA 8 did not treat me very well at all there. Look at that. 7, 21, 14. So bad. Literally crying, literally screaming. So rough. I needed to get right in her face and just blast her once, and that would have been it. The EVA 8 I know can be really wonky, but I've had a lot of great success and moments with it too. And if you don't feel comfortable with the gun, just practice with it a little bit more. Let's see where the other one is. Is it one a little bit late? All right, they're kind of split, but looks like they're playing a little catch up here. Top 10. Remember how I said by the time they make it in, I guarantee they'll have top 9. So at this point, you're not going to, even if you rush into zone, when you're put in this scenario, there's no reason to rush in zone because I guarantee everybody has already got the good spots, right? You have to keep in mind and do some counterintelligence here and realize at some point, the other teams are already playing there. Or based on the number of teams, what is the likelihood of who has what spot and why? Most people play already smart. And if we can already guess what's going to happen, probably have one team Cedo, that's 2. One team here, 3, 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, 7. Let's say one is just 8, 9, and then 10. You know what I mean? And then by the time everyone works in, those spots are all accounted for. Now, sometimes when you scan the map, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then nobody's over here, and then you have maybe like 9 here, and then you could be number 10. That can happen if everyone just in the map decides to play Edge. And if you're playing a legend such as Advantage, Crypto, Bloodhound, Seer, then scanning the beacon to give you the information. If you can work your way in, if you're playing Edge, to get to center, even if you don't have scanned beacon, it could be really, really helpful. Having 2 of those legends in your comp can also be very beneficial. The downside is that the comps that are meta, such as Conduit, Horizon, and Revenant, don't provide you information. So understand that you can have that information and use it to your strengths. Now keep in mind, if you're running into a Horizon, Revenant, and Conduit, they're going to push you. And they're going to use you for information. So if you don't have Beacon, if you don't have Console, kind of get a feeling of where teams are gathering, because most of the time those that are gathering there must have the information. Unless everyone is just dogpiling, assuming the other one knows best, which does happen. But in ALGS, if you're not running those legends, but you see there's 6 teams all dogpiling in a building, chances are that building is probably where it's going to end because they have zone information, and you just have to make that assumption. So it's kind of like playing Sherlock Holmes when you're playing a little Apex. Just kind of break things down, try to think. If things don't feel like it, I guess let's put it this scenario. If you feel like you're stuck, you should always be doing something and communicating and talking and everything. I would say the best scenario is where we just die. See how I said we're going to end up like top 8, top 9? Look at that. That's pretty solid. Now all they got to do is play Edge and just wait. Now, if they play Edge, they could play it in here. They could play it right here. All they got to do is wait. Now they can do is curve. I guarantee it'd probably pull here or here. I'm not really sure which one yet. We're going to see. If you die because of mechanics, but you had good positioning, I think you're in a great spot. And you're watching this video, you're going to be just fine. That's why I'm not stressed. I mean, hey, we had a good spot. We play with the teammates. I know what I need to fix. That's an easy fix. Okay, they're going to have to fight this team out. 8 teams means that pretty confident that this could be a... Nice. Now all you got to do is push it. Don't let them res. Now the reason why I say fight this is because you're scaring space. And the likelihood of a team being in your back at this positioning is relatively low. Okay, they secured the Conduit needs to heal that Wraith ASAP, but she hasn't yet. So that's a note I would have. Woo, what are you doing, Conduit? You got to heal that Wraith. Heal that Wraith. Thank you. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. I mean, that could have happened sooner. The Wraith would have been a little bit more confident. They got a 3v2. They got 50 seconds. So they're going to have to shove. Once they're healthy, they have to get this out quick, right? The Horizon's by yourself. Now, if they were 2v1 close together, that would have been the moment to knock. Speaking of which, there's a knock, right? And now they have to reset and heal very, very quickly, right? They have 35 seconds, so where are they going to play? I pulled on the left, so it means they're going to play this building or on the left side. They could play bridge, but they got to play this area. They probably don't have time because probably already a team in mill, which means they're going to end up here. If there's a team here, they have no choice but to shove it and fight. If they got an evac, they can fly past the evac and probably hit this building, hit this edge right here. You can't go here because there's most likely a team there. There's 7 teams remaining, so they're probably all in zone and all chilling. You see how I said that the likelihood of you being pushed at this spot is relatively low? They did clean it up, but listen, it's you got to pay attention to those signs and everything. But pretty solid. Pretty solid fight. They did really well. They got one down, and once you have that down, now the mistakes that most people play when they're going 3v2 is, again, let's go back to the don't get horny technique, right? Don't get overexcited. See how I said there was going to be a team gating there? There they are. They're going to be gating them. They're going to have to go over to the right or evac around us. I don't think they have an evac, though. And the user utility. They can use a Wraith port to get in. That'd be ideal. Now, we said don't get horny in a 3v2. Don't overextend by yourself, get knocked when your teammates are still behind you. Now, their goal right now is to pretty much get this team out or coexist with them. If they let them coexist with them on the right, they're still going to have to fight them inevitably. Okay, now they got a team on the right and they got a team on the left. All they can do is keep pushing forward. Right now, all they got to do is keep pushing forward. If they hold here, they're going to end up getting stuck gating 2 teams. If they fight this team right here on the left, they're going to get pushed by on the right. They cannot stay here. Let that team have it. Don't get too excited. This is going to be their mistake. They're going to get blasted in the back if this other team decides to push them. Now, they could get lucky. The team behind... Oh, that was massive damage. Now they have to go pretty... I mean, they don't have to. But... And also with Horizon, at least they can push on it. So there's some benefit of that, right? I don't know if you can shoot through there anymore. I think they patched it. I think they got lucky where... Oh, that's unfortunate. The team in the back, I think, stayed on the other side. They got really lucky on that. Imagine they got blasted right now. Yeah, I think they patched that, man. That's unfortunate. It ain't working, Chief. I think they patched it, bro. It doesn't work anymore, man. I think I've tried it before. I think they patched it. That's unfortunate. Those are the things to pay attention to. I'm really surprised that this team isn't getting blasted in the back. And I guarantee it's because they're trying to focus on zones. Still 7 teams. They can't stay here for too long. Oh, my God. This is... Ooh, man. That's greedy. That's greedy. That gets the knock right there. There's no reason to... You got to wait for the mistake. And there's a mistake, ladies and gentlemen. That's the mistake. Why is that a mistake? Because he's got 3 people looking at him. You push the door, what are you expecting? They're all going to look at you. You get stuck in animation and get pretty much blasted down for free. Now, he could hop down and port him out. That is definitely a possibility. Rafe jumped down and port, but I don't think they're going to make that play. This other team is still afraid to push out. There's no way they're getting him. That res time is out. And that's pretty much the GG's. Ooh, there's some damage right there. Oh, there's a mistake. That's crazy. Oh, pushed her out. She should just run the zone. Unfortunate, man. Unfortunate. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. We did kind of call that. Kind of figured it's going to happen. The Horizon, she had her ult, throw the ult, wait for the mistake, and then gate them because they're going to have to leave the building at some point, right? Catalyst is really a strong counter to anybody pushing. If you are tired of Pred teams pushing and you want them to make a mistake, Catalyst is really, really great for slowing people down. Those doors bait people all the time and they make mistakes. So remember the team that was on this side over here is probably rotated here. Machines are going to be here. There's probably going to be a team located here, team on top of down base, and team probably over there. Could be a rat around based on the numbers, you know. Could be some broken teams here and there. This team definitely has a pretty high probability of having some success, though. I mean, mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. It's okay, so don't stress. But the beauty is that you learn. I mean, I just needed to shove harder with the EVA 8, for example. The other one, maybe just stick with the Pathfinder and just die with the Mad Maggie or abandon the Pathfinder. You have some options when you're reviewing your gameplay. Try to have that memory of what happened in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Like, even when we're spectating, we see mistakes all the time and they're okay. Sometimes mistakes can lead to an opportunity, so don't panic or stress and think that's the end of the world if you make a mistake, okay? So that's another tip I can provide to you. I know some people get their heart elevated and freak out if they make one mistake because you don't want to make mistakes. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to make mistakes, okay? You have to make mistakes in video games. It's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. Don't worry. Nobody's going to get mad at you. And even if they do, then I'm going to be blunt, then they're kind of jerks for it. They shouldn't get mad at you. It's a video game. Just don't let people ruin your day. Don't let, if there are people cheating in games, listen, those are pieces of crap. Don't worry about them, you know. Don't let them ruin your day. Maybe one day karma will deal with them, or another facet like we discussed, we'll figure it out. Today just isn't that day, and that's okay. And that's why we keep moving forward. Oh, don't get hit by that. They have great positioning, by the way. All they got to do is wait. They lock this up and they wait. This is a great building, especially to hold with Cat, because there's only 2 openings. You either, block one or the other. All they got to do is just wait. Wait, and then it seems like they've done that before. They have the right comp for it. And even if one of them got knocked, they got a fast res. So this is a defensive comp by far. I mean, it showcased and proved itself that it stops aggressive teams. So kudos to them. It'll pull outside, but they should at least get minimum 2nd place if they play it smart and play it safe. There's a team up top. There's a team on the left. They can stay there. So this is the end games where you can't really do anything. If you shove right now, the other team is just going to push you. You can poke for do some damage. Whoever's got the least amount of armor, like let's say the new council is poking, swap armors. Be kind to level each other's armors up. Drop armors for those like I did earlier. I dropped my purple. Drop armors for your teammates, for your others. It goes a long way. It makes a whole lot of sense. Most people forget. Sometimes I forget, and that's okay. Don't worry. Don't stress. But hopefully you've learned a lot today. Gonna block that back up. And then they're chilling. This is one of those end zones, you know. It's people are sweaty. It's just hard to push. Now, sometimes if you can clean up the fight in less than 10 seconds, it's worth it. So let's say they knock one on the left side and they clean them up and then they secured it by walling it up again. Go for it if you think you can do it. Right? I'm talking about that building on the left. You see where they're looking over there? Let's say they knocked one, shoved it and grenaded it and cleared it out. By all means, go for it, right? But of course, don't grief your own game, make a mistake, especially if they're hard holding, because it's doubtful. There they go. Looks like they're trying to do something. But again, if you realize the fight's taking longer than 10 seconds, like let's look at the counter. Because 5 seconds is for a res, another 5 seconds for them to get a bat. If something like that happens, like they would have to go in pretty much now and find an opening on both ends. But what happens is that teams kind of stall, especially if they're equal skill level, and it doesn't necessarily work out. It's okay. Again, this is probably the latest that I've recorded. I can't believe it's this late. I have a bunch of work to do on Thursday, so I figured I'd stay up late and record this episode. Kind of give more of an ASMR late night feel. You know, we're kind of vibing, having a good time, so everything is good. Hopefully you're excited for season 20 as well. And I hope that you enjoy the spectating series. I always enjoyed recording this. That guy's just sitting out there. That's pretty insane. That's a mistake right there. Imagine that guy gets knocked for free. He's not going to, but I mean, listen, it's risky. Now, the plus side, then this would be those moments, even you got the damage here and you got a knock, you can't necessarily go for that over there because the team is waiting for it, right? Wingman is so good. I wonder what happened to the Digi on it. Didn't need that Digi. Oh my god, you're leaving the poor Newcastle outside. That's crazy. You're gonna have to jump in, Newcastle, and even then, you're gonna need to use that Newcastle wall here in a second. I get also, the beauty of it is that he's trying to occupy space. That's a good wall. And also we need the wall from the Newcastle to buy some time. There it is. That was a good wall. They just gotta be careful for their backs. The conduit can also throw her utility to buy some time there in the back. The team up top has the highest probability to win, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, because they can stay up there for the longest period of time. Oh, there's a mistake. These guys are going to get mopped up by each other. Ooh, Newcastle clutch. Keep spamming the res is very nice cover by the Newcastle. And being patient, slowing it down. Very beautiful play here. The patience is really strong. Oh, it looks like the team up top. Wow. They must have overextended and got a little too excited. Oh, that's unfortunate. Maybe the Newcastle can try to res here. It's close. It's close. Oh man, I don't think he's gonna get it because there's also still the Revenant alive. Oh, 1v1. Oh my god, is he gonna get it? Oh my gosh. No shot. Oh my gosh. One brilliant play, and they were statistically at a disadvantage. The brilliant play by hiding behind the wall and buying yourself more time. That's a clap, 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 clap. That's beautiful. That was a beautiful play. The patience there really paid off, and really working your space. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I love that. It was awesome to watch. Guys, don't be a loser like me and record super late at night. I make mistakes. Appreciate the patience as my voice is kind of recovering. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. That was great. That was fun to watch. I mean, only lost a few points. Nothing too bad. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. I'll see you guys all in the next one. If you, again, enjoy the series, we're going to be taking it to the next level next season. I have some ideas that I want to do to help it become more educational. So yeah, play patient, get to the end zones. If you can't, then play the outskirts. Thank you guys again. Don't stress about your gameplay. Take each day and cherish each moment. Thank you guys. See you guys all next time.